Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of What's Next with Ronika. If you missed the last episode or you just need a recap on what this is, it's a IG live series where I go on live with former student athletes who are now in the sports and entertainment industry and talk about their journey and what's next with them and how current student athletes can get there. And I know we were just on like 5 seconds ago. We had some technical difficulties, but we're going to see if we can try to get Brianna on now. So let me pin ask questions in the question box. Boom. So throughout the live, you can ask your questions in the question box. Sorry for that mishap before. If you missed my fun facts and you still want to know what they are, because she's not in here yet, it's that bananas are curved because they grow towards the sun. So that's why a banana is curved. And then the fun fact about myself is that I am allergic to all nuts and have really bad seasonal allergies. That's my fun fact. Okay, so yeah, she's in here now. I solved it. Here we go. View. Dun, dun, dun. Former Xavier women's basketball alum. Why does it say now she's unable to join? Here we go. Adding her. Waiting for her to accept. It's gonna work this time because I have faith and I just know it'll work. Hello. It worked.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
I was so confused. It's like there's
No,
no
it's
way.
okay. I think mine was because my page was on private.
Well, now we know for future.
Right.
But while you were at Xavier, your career got ended a little short because of injuries.
Right.
What was, your transition like from being a student athlete, going there for basketball to all of a sudden, being a regular student?
Right. I think part of it wasn't easy at first, but my teammates were super supportive and just allowing me to create a life on campus as well as still including me in like the team things and like still allowing me to be a big part of the team. But a part of it was also starting to get involved on campus and creating a life outside of sports, which is what I've known my whole life. So it was hard at first, but I think once you kind of get over the fact that you might not be playing again, getting to the campus life and trying to, get involved and see what you actually like so you can actually start a career after basketball.
Yeah, and you were on the basketball team, obviously, but you also joined a sorority. So now you have it's like a family. You have a
Right.
sisterhood, and
Ooh,
then you have, everywhere. You have all these connections because I know sororities, their connections go on forever. So what is it like being able to have so many different connections, and were you able to use those?
Absolutely. I think being part of a sorority is a lot more than the sisterhood that it is. I had that support system mentally, emotionally, spiritually. They were always there. My line sisters were, but also the networking possibilities. I mean, if I wanted to go work at an outreach or a community outreach area, nonprofit, I had connects there. Or, in the sports realm, it's so easy for me to just go meet somebody and just say, oh, you see a soror or anything like that. You just, hug and all of a sudden it's family. So networking through Delta has been amazing and they're so warm and welcoming. And it is about that sisterhood, but also making sure that we, make strides in the sports industry or any other industry just by supporting each other. So that support system has been huge. And I talk to my sisters every day. So they've been amazing.
And now you're the coordinator of executive operations with the Orange Bowl Committee. I have no idea what you do. So can you tell us what that is?
So there's a lot of different aspects of sports, obviously. Executive operations it kind of encompasses a lot of things, but really what it is taking charge of the executive office. So we have our COO, the CMO, the CFO, and then I work directly under the CEO of the Orange Bowl Committee. And I do a lot of different things, but some of it is travel itineraries for everybody. Some of it is budgeting, correspondence. We do have an Orange Bowl committee with 350 to about 400 members. Mm-hmm. And we have a board of directors, we have subcommittees and just correspondence with them. And then how we take their ideas and what they need and bring it to the actual Orange Bowl. And they support us through everything. So that is very important, along with VIP programs. So making sure that, head coaches are taken care of. We do an athletic director's dinner where I got to meet Carla Williams, and I was starstruck. So it has been amazing, but I have learned a lot of different things. I'm in charge of 3 different budgets. So that was my first time being part of budget. I've never ran a budget before, but they trusted me. So it's been good.
Yeah, that's a
It's
lot.
It's a lot.
How were you even able to get that job?
Ooh, so I think, through networking really, but I was at the CFP before this, so the college football playoff. I was an intern there, and honestly, my boss here at the Orange Bowl called the executive director, Bill Hancock, and was like, "Do you have anybody that is good enough to come work for us?" And he, I was the first name that he said. He said, "Brianna Gladney, she's an intern. She's ending her year here. She'll be the best." And I think I did a Skype interview, and I was golden. So having someone to really sponsorship you and just like push your name out there, it didn't go without, hard work or, being the best at what you do, but still like Bill Hancock and, Andre Williams, they really like pushed my name out there and I got the job. So I was really, excited for that.
Yeah, as you should be with all that you're doing.
It was the first job, so I was like, bet, getting, paid.
So right after I graduated, run me my money. But even then, you still were a member of the 2019 Game Changer, the Winning Edge Game Changer Retreat. What brought you to the Winning Edge?
So I had my mentor at the time was Will Baggett, who was also at the CFP, and he had pushed me and some other interns to apply. And so once I, did my research and everything, I found out that Reggie Jennings was part of it. So I called him and I was like, "Hey, what is this about?" And I mean, once he explained and the passion that he had about talking about the Game Changers, I was like, "Oh, I have to be a part." Yeah. So I applied and, I was so excited when Corinne, called me and was like, "Hey, like, we would love to have you." But I applied because those 2 people really pushed me to do so. And then doing my own research, Game Changers really aligned to what I want to do with my career as well. So,
and what were your top 3 takeaways from the retreat?
There were so many. We had so many great speakers. I mean, it is set up so well, and I had an amazing time. But if I had to do 3, one is networking, and I know everyone speaks about it, and that's why, because it's so important. Yeah. But like networking etiquette, I believe is something that they, kind of pushed into us while we were there. And I believe that through that, you have to be a genuine person. So no one there was trying to step on each other, trying to get, to talk to, Maria or talk to Corinne or anybody else. It was just like honestly a family situation and like family oriented. Mm-hmm. So it was easy for all of us to be who we are and to open up to learn and to talk and be vulnerable with each other. So I definitely think taking away from that would be like being a genuine person and keep being who you are, but also networking not only, from the top to the bottom, but also side to side with your peers and just having that support system with you. So those were some big takeaways that I had from the retreat.
Yeah, I'm jealous. I was supposed to be there. I mean, I said this to someone else before, but I went to Europe instead. I'm like, that's not a bad thing.
So it was fine.
Like, it's okay. But they spoke on networking and making the connections. You had a couple internships before. Yes. And what did you do to, spoke about this with Talea, like right before on how to make your resume or make who you are stand out above the rest. What did you do to make yourself stand out? So,
well, first I had 7 internships prior to this.
I thought a couple. My bad.
No. It was just, I was just trying to think. So I think building your resume is so important. But one thing that I've learned, I was grateful enough. I guess grateful is not the right word, but once I tore my ACL, I was like, all right, I gotta do something. So internships were my thing. A lot of student athletes don't get that. So what I've learned with my resume and how to, keep yourself away is that once you get that foot in the door, once you get that first interview, it's all about highlighting things that other people can't don't have. And student athletes have a lot that other people just don't have. It's innate competition, like innate hard work. You have, we're not scared to work late or long hours. We're not doing, because we're in the gym, we're, on the field, we're on the court. So we all have those like innate characteristics that just other people just don't have. And so if you can take that and translate it on your resume and take that and translate it to, your interviews, I think you'll at least get to the second or third interview by far. And then by there, it's just about your experience.
Yeah. And what do you want your end game to be? Unless you want to work for executive operations forever. I don't know.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it sounded like a lot.
But I'm grateful to have this position right now just because I get to do a whole lot of things in operations. So I know exactly what I don't want to do. But my end goal is to stay in operations, but have it geared toward game management and event planning. So what I've been learning, managing a budget, I think that's one of the things that's huge and it's not really taught in school. So having that experience has been great. But my end goal is to stay in event management and game management. Hopefully at the top level. I would love to go to a conference to see how that is. But being at a bowl has been great. Just learning what we do all year round. Everyone thinks like we just have a game in like January, December time. And it's like, all right, so you're off for the rest of the year. And it's just like, no, not at all. So I think right now just to stay in that game management and operations and to keep pushing that forward.
And for those that don't know, you have dual degrees and you got 2 degrees in 4 years.
Yes.
I'm struggling to get my 1. I'm still trying to finish that up. What resources were you able to use to have that become a reality for you?
I'm just going to plug this because I was in student athlete development after I graduated at Boston College. And if you don't use your student athlete development people, you're setting yourself back. They are there specifically to help with your resume, help you with all of those things. So
you went out a little. Can you repeat that? I'm sorry. No.
There you go. You good?
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
Like, where is she?
Student athlete development, anybody who works in student athlete development is there specifically to help you with your career, is there specifically to help you with your resume, to see, to even help you seek your passions. So if you don't use your academic advisors, if you're not using your student athlete development department, if you don't have one, advocate one. There's a lot of schools have SAC. Is that something that you can build? So using those resources for me was top tier. They helped me, reach out to my own athletic department. One of my internships was at Xavier doing, I think, marketing promotions. Do I want to do it now? No. But now I know I don't want to do it now. And so that was something that the resources that, my school actually gives us was a big help for me.
And from all the internships you've had, all of the mentors you've spoken with, what was the greatest advice you've ever received?
I think the best advice that I received, I received a lot just because as I was growing, but I think the best
7
is that, exactly 7. I think that keeping people around you that will support you through everything, and different people can be different parts of your life, but people who will support you mentally, who will challenge you, mentally, people who will support you emotionally, those people are essential to who you will become and who you are and to help you grow. And so keeping those peers around you that will help you. It's important to have people who are above you that can mentor you and, push your name out there. But having that peer group, so Game Changers group, like we have a group chat and we text every day. And it's something that, whether it's, hey, good job on your graduation, wish we were there, or I see you overseas, are you okay? Like everything okay? So just having that support system. And in that support system, your peers can be heavy hitters. Like Reggie Jennings is getting his master's, and like we talk, we check up on each other. We have, Kiana Hairston, I would consider her my best friend, and she was the intern at CFP, but now she's getting her MBA and her MS in sports. And so you're just like, oh wow, but the more that you are, the more you grow, the people around you will grow, and they'll help you out. And so keeping that peer group together and just being that genuine person.
And that's something that Kareem told me. She was like, don't sleep on your own community. Like, people are always trying to reach out and like try to figure out people that are at the top, but it's like, your friends are climbing up right with you.
Right
like,
here with
like,
you.
like,
And they may be going different ways, but like if Kiana's doing, I don't know, like let's say Reggie wants to do business. Okay, well, you have to have someone in business in your athletic department. You have to have somebody in operations in your department. And it's okay to learn what he's doing, learn what they're doing, but they're climbing with you. And so they know your struggles and y'all can talk about that. So yeah, for sure. She taught me that too. So I'm glad everyone else is listening too.
We're going to open up for questions. So you guys have questions, continue asking the question box. This one. What is it like moving to Miami? Advice for someone who's struggling with moving away. And I know you're a military kid, so you've been moving around forever.
Right. Moving, I did the same thing that Talea was.
That's my life.
So the thing that Talea said not to do is what I did. And now I know, just like she said, not to do it. I accepted that job and was like, yep, I'll be there in 2 weeks. And yep, I can move there, and don't worry about the moving costs. I'm just gonna go. And so don't do that, like she said. But moving to Miami it's been great in a lot of ways, just because it's such a diverse area. It's warm, once the beach is back open, beach. Yeah. And so Miami has been a great move. But I've moved other places where I lived in Boston. It's cold, snow. And so adapting is something that can be hard, especially if you're used to one certain thing. But the way that I adapt, you find your support system, like I said, but, reaching out to people in the actual area. Like, it's hard to make friends once you're out of college. Yeah. But like getting more involved in the area, getting involved in your community, reaching out to even coworkers. It's something that has been hard for me, but I've been doing, and it's also helped with my transition in Miami, especially after my first year here. Going into my second year, I do have a little bit more friends out here, and trying to reach out to them and have fun out here, not just cooped up.
Yeah, you spoke about adapting. So how do you, I'm a student athlete right now, and how do other student athletes go from adapting to being something other than an athlete, becoming a professional and becoming a learner, and then to where you are now?
Exactly. That's a great question. I would say it's a hard transition if you thought you were going to go further in your sport. So if you think you're, going professionally, it's hard to transition back to like something that you're not familiar with. But I do challenge student athletes who are still in school to start looking at like what their future might be without a sport. But that transition going from an athlete to a, full-time adult it's hard. But I think, starting to kind of piece together and start doing informational interviews. I say this to almost everybody I talk to. Informational interviews have saved my life. It has gotten me, like, oh, I don't want to do that in my life. I don't want to do that job or anything like that. So informational interviews, if you see somebody that that's in a position that you want to be in, just shoot an email, a professional email, maybe have someone else look over it, but a professional email, and just say, hey, I would love 10 minutes of your time. Maybe we can get coffee if you're in the area. If not, can we hop on a Zoom call? Can we hop on a call for 10 minutes? I just have a few questions about where you've been, how'd you get there, and stuff like that. I think those informational interviews really get people's minds going about what they want to do and then what they don't want to do. I think informational interviews are really important. And one thing I can say about those is that prepare in-depth questions about them. Just don't be like, oh, so where are you from? What do you do exactly? Like, you could ask more in-depth questions about their day-to-day duties. What specifically, if you look up their bios, like, okay, I saw you went from here to here. How that transition was that? You can even ask like, oh, now that COVID is over, how that affects, all those things. So
I'm like taking notes.
Yeah. Just the informational interviews are really important, especially when you're in that middle of the transition, just so you can kind of see what you want to do.
Yeah. I'll finish it off with this question. How did you build your network? What worked best for you?
That's a great question. It really is. I think so. I can't not say this just because she was such an inspiration to me. My aunt Andrea Williams is someone who has put me, paved the way for me in the sports industry and put me in positions where I can talk to others in the industry to see what I want to do. But the way to keep your network, I think, to build it is you just have to reach out. You just have to get out of your comfort zone and send that email. They may not respond, but maybe, it's Christmas time and you send the fifth email that you sent to them. And they're like, you know what? I'm feeling really giving today. You have now made a network. And it doesn't matter how, you shouldn't blow them up and annoy them, but like, hey, Merry Christmas. Hey, I saw, you got a new AD. Congratulations. Hope everything works out for you. Maybe we can connect. But continuing your network and keeping up with them and knowing what's going on in your industry and what you want to do is important. Mm-hmm. So the way that I kept my network is doing just that. You don't have to talk to them, every other month or like a scheduled time, but over the holidays, say, how are you doing? When COVID hit, just reaching out, just saying, hey, hope everything's okay. I don't know how this is going to affect your industry, but just, reach out to me if you need anything. Mm-hmm. And going over that and just keep going, even if they do not respond the next holiday. Hey, it's persistent because one day they're going, you know what? There was this kid
yeah.
and they do it. And that's how I got one of my mentors. She I was just blowing her off.
Mm-hmm. Saying, she's like, I'll respond.
Right. If I don't respond, she's going to keep coming. So I think that's one of the things that's not spoken about a lot. And people are really nervous about reaching out to just people that they don't know. But a lot of people like talking about themselves. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. Because it's going to be your entryway on how you get to know them.
Yeah. I think that is great advice. And that's one of I'm like, I don't want to annoy someone. And I'm like, but I have to be annoying or else they won't notice me.
Exactly. Do you know how easy it is to just ignore an email? It's not annoying them. It's so easy.
They're just scrolling past and they don't see it. It's just like that.
Exactly. It's like, what?
But thank you so much for coming on and giving us all of your advice and your time and letting us know what's next and what it takes. Good luck with everything, and hopefully you're surviving the Rona.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
Bye.
All right, guys, another great episode and a great conversation. I didn't know what to expect because she does a lot, and we heard that. So if you want to keep tuning in, follow us on everything, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. If you're not following us and you're on this live, I don't know what's wrong with you. And subscribe to the YouTube. We'll keep posting updates on what's coming up next. You'll see this full episode in like 2 seconds. And up next, we're going to have Christina Nelson and Callie Rivers. I'll give up more information as it goes on, but that'll be on Thursday. And continue to follow along. Thank you, guys.